You're watching an exclusive high-definition broadcast of HDNet Fights. HDNet Fights presents Dream 2.
Welcome to Tokyo. It's Showa Day here in Japan, part of Golden Week, one of the three biggest holidays in the nation. And here at the Saitama Super Arena, a packed house for Dream 2, the middleweight tournament today, as well as the rematch of the lightweight event between Aoki and Calvancante that ended in controversy in Dream 1. Kenny Rice, Frank Trigg, glad that you could be with us here on HDNet. Frank, we're going to see the middleweights today for the most part, and of course that rematch that much anticipated after the no contest.
You know, for me, I can't wait to see Jay-Z and Aoki battle it out again, but also I'm really looking forward to seeing Jacare finally fight as well.
And as you see, a crowd of over 20,000 here on this Showa Day and anticipating Dream 2. You can hear a pin drop in this arena at this moment, can't you, as they anticipate the fighters that are going to be introduced soon.
That's the one thing you'll always notice. The Japanese crowds are very quiet, but they understand the entire game as well, so they'll even cheer when there's a position change on the ground.
And now we get ready for the introductions of the fighters that we will see here tonight. And there are the belts on display that will eventually go to the champion of the middleweight, lightweight divisions. We will see both in action, and here are the rules, Frank.
10-minute first round, 5-minute second round, no kicks to the head of a downed opponent, no elbows to the head, but of course you can elbow the body. Same rules we saw in a lightweight tournament. Nothing has really changed, but remember this is different than what we're used to seeing with the Japanese rules. We're not allowed any more foot stomps, head kicking, soccer kicks, downward stomping to the head of a downed opponent. You can only kick the body. So it's a little bit of a rule change, a little bit safer for the competitors, and it makes it for a little bit more exciting fight. You knock a guy down, you can't necessarily kick him in the face to finish the fight. You have to pass his guard and try to get in there and finish him with a submission.
And of course that no elbows to the head, some controversy already with that rule. We saw it in Dream 1 involving the lightweights, and now they meet again. Aoki and Jay-Z, this is the rematch after the no contest because Aoki could not continue in the first round. Aoki has won 9 straight since losing to Sakurai August 2005. And of course there is that no contest with Jay-Z in Dream 1. Of his 14 wins, 8 have come by way of submission, and he has been incredibly motivated, almost remorseful at times, Frank, in the fact that he could not continue through the first round of that Dream 1 fight. He's gone through meditation and has been working almost as much with the mind as body to come back for this fight.
Well, part of this too is that part of it was a mind fault, that he couldn't lift his arm up, and the doctor determined he couldn't continue due to the fact that the elbow hit him in the shoulder and slid across and caught him in the neck. He basically got a stinger, and that was the end of the fight. I see the elbow as being a legit elbow, a legal elbow, but I'm not the ref, I'm not the doctor, and I'm not the judges. And they determined that it should be a no contest, and we're going to have a rematch here tonight. I think Aoki's a little bit more determined. He's a very emotional fighter. If you saw him in his loss, he cried afterwards in his post-fight interview. He definitely has been very emotional, but he also took the steps of like a George St. Pierre and said, I'm going to work on my mental game. And we're going to see a different Aoki tonight, not technically, but I think mentally, being able to grind things out, get in there and get a little bit deeper. I've talked about it before. Guys need to learn how to push through a lot of the stuff in MMA, and they don't really. And then going gets tough, you kind of want to leave or tap out or find a way out of the fight. Aoki is going to fix that now himself and try to push his way through it and find a way to, if it gets in a precarious position, grinding out the position, finding a way to get a win.
Aoki has talked about that he thought he looked a little bad at the beginning. That's his words in terms of what he said after the fight. Then he got his composure back, he said, at the end of it when he was apologizing for the fans. And here's the man that he will face now. Aoki seems to be in the groove to Jay-Z's music.
Well, that's one of the things, too, about trying to stay loose. It is a long time for, at home, you're sitting on your couch, you got a beer in your hand, sitting in your underwear. You know, you think, oh, it's not that long for Jay-Z to be walking down. Aoki, remember, he's been preparing for this match for a long time. Before they decided to have a rematch, he's been training for this fight forever, you know, for 5 or 6 months, because of the first no contest. So now you have a situation where Aoki could be a little bit tighter. Like 5 minutes, seems like 20 minutes. And a good way to do it is to stay loose. And of course, Aoki loves Jay-Z's entrance music. He knows about the fight's about ready to start. So at this point, Jay-Z can take as much time as he wants to get down. Aoki's going to stay loose. And now let's hope that if the positions were reversed, Jay-Z would do the same thing if Aoki was coming in.
And Jay-Z with 7 wins by way of submission. Joachim Hansen, the only man to defeat him since that draw to Ryan Schultz back in July 2005. He has won 8 in a row. And of course, again, that no contest with Aoki. This is a rematch, I guess you can call it here. It is part of the lightweight tournament still. The winner of this advancing on to the second round, where they will fight Katsuhiko Nagata. You wonder about the mindset of Aoki. We've talked about him, Frank, and getting ready for this and how he's had meditation, he's trying to clear his head and get everything around why he did not go on with the fight. You wonder about Jay-Z, who hasn't had a whole lot to say other than he's ready. Let's get this thing over again, because he feels that he won that first fight, that it should have been his fight, as many people do, part of the controversy. You wonder what he's thinking right now.
You know, it's tough. I can't say what he's saying. I say what I would be thinking. I say, hey, I beat him up the first time. I should have beaten him the second time. But also, too, fighting a guy the second time, whether the fight in 45 seconds or 4 hours, it's always tough to fight a guy the second time. You know your rhythm a little bit better. You know your pattern. You step in front of the monster of Jay-Z. Aoki has. He's like, you know, he's a normal guy like me. Let's see if we can get this thing better. Now, I've had some rematches I've lost. I've had some rematches that I won. You know, both times. It just kind of depends.
And as we look now at the tail of the tape, and you can see the height advantage belongs to Aoki. That will be evident when they square off these two 24-year-olds. And of course, again with Jay-Z, also a little bit probably in his head, because there was some controversy when he did not fight on New Year's Eve. Right. Was he really injured? Yes, he said he was. He was there watching at ringside, as we were at that time. And this meant a lot to him to fight Aoki the first time around.
You know, now if you notice, he'll have his left knee taped, which that was hurt during New Year's Eve. He had it taped the first time that they fought, Aoki and Jay-Z, and he has it taped now. It's going to be interesting to see if it is hindering his mobility, if he's having it just for precautionary reason why he has it taped up. So you never know.
And there you see the tape. He looks good there as he leaps the ropes and comes into the ring, and we get ready now for the introduction of this rematch.
180センチ、69.8 キロ、青木真也。
I think the more colors Aoki has on his tights, the better he does.
173センチ、69.9 キロ、Gesias Calvancante。
Both guys seem very focused, very determined. Obviously, they're in great shape. Of course, Jay-Z's a little bit denser, a little bit thicker all the way around than Aoki is, but Aoki is also about 4 inches taller. So. Different styles, too. You'd think the tall guy would fight more on the outside. Jay-Z actually fights more on the outside. Yeah. Even though he is getting up the reach advantage, because Aoki just wants to jump guard, to stay inside and stay tight.
As we saw Aoki do that in their first fight. Very few times did he try, in what was obviously a short fight, try to stand and swing away. And here we go with round 1 of the rematch. And Jay-Z comes in early, and jumping in once again is Aoki. That looks familiar.
He didn't waste any time. As soon as he hit the ropes, felt himself going down, immediately jumps guard. But bad position. He's using a lot of energy to hold. And Jay-Z doesn't have to use much energy to get him off, because gravity's going to work in his favor. You can just see how strong Shinya is right there. Aoki's he's so strong, even for his size.
And again, looking at the body size, deceptively strong. If someone just walked in, turned this on for the first time, they're thinking the thinner guy is not going to be able to handle JZ.
You know, really, Aoki spends so much time working on his technique. He's strong because he's very technical as well.
And it goes to the mat for the first time in this fight.
Not so much a takedown as just a spinning throw. You know, Aoki had both his feet off the ground, didn't take much to put him on the ground. If JZ wants to win this fight, you have to pick up the pace early and force Aoki to have to start making mistakes, make him look bad like he did in the first fight. We had to keep jumping guard. Keep punching him in the head, keep punching him out, get little peppering shots. You're not going to knock a guy out like Aoki because once you get in that battle, you can jump guard and catch a submission. On the reverse, if Aoki wants to make it look in his favor, assuming that no one finishes the fight, this goes to a full decision, you got to watch out for Aoki. He needs to keep moving into submission, 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 always keep active. Because of his style, if he doesn't catch something, he makes himself look kind of rather boring. If you got a guy like JZ on top of you, he's always throwing peppering shots. And of course, if someone gets a submission or a knockout, all what I just said is a moot point.
JZ will stand up and try to get some punches in. And watch out for those up kicks as he squeezes through and throws a left. Aoki holding tough. JZ not going down.
See, Aoki has his left leg up in JZ's armpit. That keeps JZ from falling back himself into a heel hook because he's got his feet so wrapped up tight. JZ could actually finish him with an ankle lock or a heel hook in this position. That's a great counter to stop from getting caught in the own technique. He's rolling a little bit more now. He's trying to he's working on that knee, a take knee, smart position. He's got an Achilles lock right now.
And JZ comes down harder and harder with his right foot and gets free of that. Aoki in trouble here in the early going of this fight. JZ continues to hammer away at the side.
His face is completely open, no way to defend himself because both legs are wrapped around that leg.
Aoki taking at least 10 unanswered blows during that exchange.
I'm very impressed with his chin power. He got back up to his feet and doesn't look too worse for the wear. JZ, if he's smart and his corner's smart, yelling at him, get separation, get out of the corner, get separation, keep working the head of Aoki. No matter how tough you are, your head still run a little bit from all those punches.
Appreciation by the crowd here at the resiliency of Aoki. 3 or 4 out of that flurry landed with some authority.
Completely undefended, flushed, no hands up, no head movement, just getting rained upon in the head. JZ getting warned for putting his hand in the ropes.
Aoki hasn't won every fight by way of submission. It may just seem that way. 8 of his 14 victories have come by submission, as you see the heavily taped left knee of JZ. Once again, it is Aoki. It's like a piggyback position here.
Oh, great rear naked choke spot, but not anywhere close to being in. But it's a good position. Actually, when Jason Miller and I fought in Icon a year and a half ago, that's exactly the same thing Jason did to me. He was in this position for a good 2.5 minutes, and it makes you exhausted trying to carry a guy on your back like this. He's got a good, that forearm, that thumb bone is right across JZ's mustache line. He has his head turned. He's a good position for a neck crank as well.
The first strikes we've seen from Aoki tonight. Trying to reposition himself on JZ.
Aoki's probably one of the best guys at using his little peppering shots to force you to move and give him a submission. He does a great job of working that angle. He's not going to knock you out with those positions, but it makes you have to respect it enough to give an arm or give a neck.
And once again, he'll try to get in for the rear naked choke. Once again, cranking on the head there. You see JZ fighting it off.
Jay-Z needs to get one of those hands frees in Aoki and put 2-on-1 and get the arm to the other side of his head. Like right now, get that arm to the other side of his head. It's going to stop the rear naked choke and keep him from resetting. Once that arm is on the back side, he can't choke you any longer, and all he's doing now is hanging on. Aoki's still close. He still has his body in a great position to finish this fight.
And Aoki has been controlling this tempo for the last 3 minutes or so now. And continues to annoy Jay-Z with those little punches, an elbow to the side, followed by a punch to the face.
All this is doing is making both guys tired, but in the judge's mind, Aoki's winning this. He's had 3 or 4 different submission attempts from this position. He's peppering the shots. Jay-Z is completely defensive. He can't get any offense on at all. I mean, even if you just hold the opposite hand and elbow him in the ribs, he's got to do something, Jay-Z does. Just standing here taking these shots, he's not going to be able to win this round.
And once again, now as they sit down, Jay-Z continues to keep that chin close to his neck. I guess the only thing here, Frank, is at least he does not have the burden of carrying Aoki on his back literally like he has for about 4 minutes.
This is true, but also he just shut off his ability to be able to elbow in the ribs. He's not going to be able to, at least especially because he's got this body triangle on him, at least elbow the thigh. Make him let go of you by elbowing him in the thigh. Get control of one of the hands, cross over your head, and start elbowing the thigh. With a calf right in flanks across your stomach. I mean, there's so many different options Jay-Z could be doing here. He's just kind of caught up. Every single one of those little peppering shots are scoring points in the judge's decision.
Well, way back at the start of this fight, Jay-Z had his best moments. 3 or 4 solid punches in a torrent of blows to the side of the head and around the face area of Aoki, which did not faze him. He was able to stand up and out of it.
This is probably not a good stoppage for Jay-Z right now. They're going to bring him back to the center of the ring and in the same position. So this is not a good spot for Jay-Z now. He was actually better in the corner where Aoki can only go 1 of 2 directions. Now he has all 8 directions. He can move anywhere he wants to.
So Aoki has gone from having problems early in this fight.
Smart work by Aoki trying to change sides. Yeah.
He did that in the first fight.
He did, yeah. He changed sides. What he did is he puts the exact same technique on, but changes the way he has it on. He goes to the exact opposite side. He got away with it in the first fight. This time Jay-Z kind of caught him and said, no, you got to go back on the same side. Aoki sneaking up his guard, trying to get a little bit higher, looking for a different submission position.
And Jay-Z turns around. Jay-Z is out of it and in the best position he's been in since the first couple of minutes of this round.
He's got about 1:20 left to go ahead and try to steal this round, steal this fight from the judges, or finish the fight. You know, obviously finishing is the best position, but making the assumption that, you know, it's not going to get finished in the next minute 15, minute 10. Go ahead, he's got to try to steal this round. He's got to pick up his action a little bit. If I was Jay-Z, I'd force Aoki back to his feet again.
Clearly the strength of Jay-Z in this fight. With 55 seconds to go.
That's 3 flush leg kicks or foot kicks are landing right on Jay-Z's head.
The crowd appreciates it. There's number 4. So Jay-Z continues to lose points here. Aoki is building up point after point on him.
Somebody in the American top team in Jay-Z's corner's got to tell him, let him get back up to his feet. Use your hand speed to go ahead and beat him. Aoki's doing a great job. His corner's telling us to keep doing what you're doing. Stay put.
Had Aoki not already impressed the judges enough with trying at least a half a dozen different submissions and dictating the tempo, Jay-Z is having problems standing up here because Aoki will not, as round one is nearing an end. A strong round here for Aoki in this rematch to see who will advance in the lightweight tournament.
Well, great job by Aoki. I have to give that first round to Aoki completely. I mean, he won on every factor except for the takedown, which Jay-Z really, Aoki was trying to get him to the ground anyway. He kind of conceded it, but regardless of whether he wanted to go there or not, he ended up on the ground. He gives up the takedown. But he controls everything else. He controlled the aggressiveness. He had 4 or 5 different submission attempts. I mean, Jay-Z is really behind, at least for that first round. It's the last thing I want is something heavy on my face like that. Brother, please, as it is, don't block my nose too. He's in this. He has this Achilles leg. You see, Aoki's right arm is underneath as he's leaning back. He's in a good position. Jay-Z does a good job of getting his other foot free. He realizes he can't uncross the legs to get his foot out, so he's better off just going ahead and heel kicking him in the ground. Now, before I know in the rules before, he said no kicking of a down opponent. Both guys were on the ground, so it's completely legal. And here you see the 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 different punches that come straight through that Aoki can't stop.
And it looked like at that point that Aoki was in trouble.
It did.
2 minutes into this fight, he was in trouble. Would this be another short one? No. He takes the back and takes control of this fight, and even then later on when he was able to spin out of it, Jay-Z, he's getting kicked.
Good job by Aoki using his great jiu-jitsu game, his great talent on the ground, tying up one leg with his leg in his arm, tying up the other hand by just grabbing the wrist and kicking him in the face with his other free leg. And that's really smart. That's really smart. And not letting him knock a guy out. Get a turn away from you, put you in a knee bar, put you in an ankle lock position.
The winner will advance in this Dream Lightweight tournament to face Nagata as we get ready for 5 more minutes to go here at Schedule 4 in round 2. And will Jay-Z take advantage here in the standing as he goes for a kick inside?
Well, if Jay-Z's smart, he's not going to try and stay too close to Aoki, because if he because every time he gets too close on him, it's basically he's right on top of him. Aoki immediately just jumps guard and stuffs everything that Jay-Z can do. Jay-Z's best game at this point is long punching, staying a little bit further away. Nice high guard by Aoki. No danger though by Jay-Z. He's not in any kind of danger at this point. Yeah.
I figure the only thing he's thinking now with 4 minutes to go in this fight is doing enough to impress the judges should this go the distance.
Oh, wow, great reverse armbar. It's kind of caught him as part of an Umapata, part armbar.
Jay-Z pulls out.
Most guys expect you to go to Umapata in that position, which is going to bend your arm and actually hurt your shoulder. And Aoki just kept it straight, pushed the wrist away, used his arm almost as a blocker, almost as like you would use his hip in an armbar. That's a great submission position if you can catch it.
Jay-Z escaped 5-6 submission attempts in the first round. But again, it was Aoki carrying that first round.
Or being carried.
And there he jumps again, yeah, being carried, as he literally rode the back for 4 minutes of that first round of Jay-Z. And once again, he's right there where he wants to be, Aoki.
And what's happening is that in the first fight, Jay-Z would punch him, and as he was getting hit, Aoki would jump guard, which made it look bad. It looked like he was running away from the punching. Now, in this fight, he's not even letting Jay-Z get any punches off. He's just immediately jumping guard and landing in a good position. So Jay-Z, the whole time, looks like he's being defensive.
And once again, Jay-Z trying to get his arm out of there. He escaped one in this round. Seems like forever since Jay-Z's landed an effective punch.
Since basically the first 2 minutes of the first round. I mean, it's been 8 minutes now, 9 minutes now. It's a long time in a fight. Especially a 15-minute fight. It's over half the fight since you've hit anybody with anything. Effective. A couple peppering body blows, but they're all off balance. His hips are away from him. He's almost diving in. The ref does a good job of setting him back up again.
2 minutes to go in this fight. You got the feeling if Jay-Z, and once again jumping there is Aoki. Jay-Z staying up. He has to feel right now, I've got about a minute 45 to do something to make some kind of impact here, because this is Aoki's fight, it would appear.
Correct. You know, and at this point, you know, now you're hoping that a little desperation setting in. You got to go ahead and steal this fight. You're going to try to take it away.
This is the rematch of the controversial no contest. Aoki could not continue on in the first round. That was in Dream 1. Here we are, Dream 2. This is part of the lightweight tournament to see who advances. And Jay-Z comes in with his best punch in a long time. But it was only one.
Yeah, finally hit somebody. Threw 3 punches, only 1 connects. He gets stifled again. In this high guard position, it makes it look like the Jay-Z's being defensive. See, his legs are up, his butt's up in the air, his head's down. It makes the judges think you're being defensive, as opposed to Aoki being defensive, because that's really what this position is. There's not much Aoki can do in here. Wow, Jay-Z's strength to pick him up.
And Aoki, he's tried twice in this round, has not been able to submit Jay-Z. Final minute of round 2. Is he going to end the fight now?
He's got a full catch. As you saw the ref put his 2 fingers up, that means a full catch, which is a scoring point for the judges. It means the submission is in and almost ready for a tap. Not necessarily Jay-Z will tap, it's just that he's caught.
And Aoki is holding on and straining, and Jay-Z, how is he going to get through this?
Good job.
Just that way, somersaults his way out of it.
Great job by Jay-Z. He was really caught there. That's a really tough position. Most guys wouldn't know how to get out of that at all, because it switched spots and angles 4 or 5 different times. Jay-Z finally found a way out of it.
Nice roll for Jay-Z. He's trying to get something going here in the final 15 seconds. And Aoki has continued to dictate everything here in round 2. This fight comes to an end. It goes to the judges to see who advances in the lightweight tournament. And Aoki clearly thinks he does. You kind of look at Jay-Z a little pensive there, certainly not in a celebratory mood right now.
Yeah, I honestly have to give it to you. I thought this fight was going to be a little bit more of a bang, a little bit more of Aoki having to run and duck and dive out of the way and catch a couple things. Aoki dominated the entire fight, in my opinion. You know, really, you know, and for me, I'm a huge Aoki fan, but I like him because he's an opposite of my style, where I'm more of a striker, brawler kind of type. He's very technical, and he did such a great job. He gets hit. There's that one punch that Jay-Z finally hits. Oh, the second one did land. I thought the second one missed. But here you see him. His arm is completely caught out. He's in a partial armbar, kind of a omoplata position. Aoki's pushing it up, and just as he pushes it up, Jay-Z rolls out of it and gets himself in a spot to get out of there. You know, really, I'm really impressed with Aoki. You know, it comes through, but this also raised another question for me.
Judge's decision now.
Judge Adachi, Aoki. Judge Miyake, Aoki. Judge Aoki. Yute Shosha.
You know, I think Jay-Z was gonna win that first fight. I think Jay-Z won the first fight. You know, yes, it was accidental, and it did slide up to him in the neck, and Aoki couldn't continue. But that's not, you know, Jay-Z's fault. That's Aoki's fault. I'm not saying it's his fault, but it's on his spot. You know, the fight should have been done. Jay-Z should have won. We have a rematch, and Aoki wins a decision. So now you have a football, where instead of Jay-Z being in the tournament, now you got Aoki in the tournament. So it's very interesting to see that, you know, how this whole thing pans out and what the message boards are going to say, what they'll be saying over on MMA Junkie here later on today. You know, what's going to be, you know, what does that imply? Really, I think that both guys deserve to be in through the first round, you know, through the first round and the second round of the middleweight tournament. But Aoki's in it, the guy's in the tournament, and he did a great job. He came back, revamped, redid, and as we saw around, he did 15 different submission positions, changed the position, changed his game plan, and still comes out and kills him.
And what a difference for Aoki. The tears of disappointment, of frustration and embarrassment when we saw him in Dream 1. And now the tears of happiness after going through meditation, after trying to get his head around that first no contest. And he comes back here to advance in the lightweight tournament. Controversy or not, he is going on from Dream 2 to continue, while Jay-Z suffering only the second loss of his career.
Aoki now's got to be the favorite for the lightweight tournament. He has to be the favorite. He's so dominant, he's so strong, and his technique, and even if you hit him, he still finds a way to get to a submission position.
So Aoki goes on. Next up for him is Nagata in this lightweight tournament. And now Aoki getting ready to address the crowd. Let's listen.
3月結果で終わって正直苦しかったです。でも皆さんの温かい声でこうやって今リングの上で笑顔でいることができます。本当にありがとうございます。もう次に試合があるんですけど、正直今の状態で何も考えられないというのは僕の気持ちです。けど何があろうと俺はこの日本なしてまっすぐと生きてきます。ありがとうございました。
見事セカンドラウンド進出を果たしました。そして
And Hans Thompson is with us again, our translator here. Hans, basically what's Aoki saying to the crowd?
Aoki said that he is obviously was really disappointed with last month's results, but he is able to smile again in the ring due to his warm reception, the warm voices of everyone there. He thanked the crowd, and he says in this situation, and my mind is sort of empty. I can't really think of anything, but I'm gonna continue on from here.
All right, thanks, Hans. And he is certainly milking this moment now. Far different than the last time we saw Aoki here. As this wraps up now the first round of the lightweight tournament. At least we know who is advanced on in the lightweight. And after that controversial no contest, Aoki unanimous decision win here over Jay-Z. Now we get ready for the middleweight tournament, which will begin here tonight in Dream 2. And with more on how this tournament shapes up, we take a look at the brackets, and here again is Ron Kruk. Ron?
Thanks, guys. Most everyone is familiar with March Madness and the NCAA basketball brackets. Well, the Dream Middleweight Grand Prix tournament is a little different. Unlike in college hoops, the winners in the Dream tourney have no idea who they'll be facing next. Dream officials will randomly draw names to determine the matchups in the second round. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Fighters will need to win to move on, and here are the first round matchups for the Dream Middleweight Tournament. With 174 career fights to his credit, Ikuhisa Minowa brings more ring experience than anyone into the tournament when he faces kickboxer Taiei. Dong-Sik Yoon and Shungo Oyama are excellent judo fighters, but Yoon is on a roll, winning his last 3 bouts. Sultan Nakhmadov has more letters in his last name than he's had career fights. However, he also possesses strong Muay Thai skills. Croatian fighter Zelj Gesias has 6 KOs in his last 7 wins. Californian and Cal State Fullerton wrestler Ian Murphy makes his MMA debut against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert Ronaldo Souza, who is on fire right now, winning 8 straight. In a fight taking place on Dream 3 May 11th, Dutch knockout specialist Melvin Manhoff will take on yet another fighting Gracie, Hollick Gracie. Funaki and Tumora bring a combined 97 career fights into the Dream ring. Expect some fireworks in this one. A veteran of the Pride Grand Prix tournaments, Gegard Mousasi has striking power to go along with his solid submission skills. After going undefeated in 23 straight fights, top 10 fighter Dennis Kang has lost 2 of his last 3 bouts. And finally, with wins over MMA stars like Quentin Jackson and Ken Shamrock, MMA legend Kazushi Sakuraba takes on South American karate champion Andros Nakahara, who is making his MMA debut. A berth to the Dream Middleweight quarterfinals is on the line tonight. And of course, HDNet Fights will bring you all the second round action of the tournament right here on HDNet. Kenny, Frank, back to you.
Thanks, Ron. Here at the Saitama Arena now, we get ready for the start of our middleweight tournament. And a fighter we saw in Dream 1 fighting at 196, losing about 13, 14 pounds for this middleweight tournament. Minowa Man will be in action against a young fighter in Ken.
ただいまより本日の第2試合オリンピアドリーム2ミドル級グランプリ2008開幕戦第1試合を行います
And now for the second match.
青の方より金谷英選手の入場です
Taiei Ken, a record of 2-2. He has a win by TKO and one by decision. Defeated Kimura, who we'll see, and has also lost to Gesias, who we will also see, along with Oyama, those that have defeated him. And here he comes into tournament action here in the middleweights, and he's going to fight a very experienced fighter. One that we saw in Dream 1 fighting on what was basically the undercard, obviously not part of the lightweight tournament, and almost a cruiserweight of around 196 pounds. Minowa Man, as he's now known, or going by his wrestling name, fought out the last time.
Let's not forget, though, too, that the kid's got a pretty extensive record in K1. He's 21, 5-1. You know, as a lighter guy, obviously K1's known for the bigger, heavier guys. His 2-2 record in MMA doesn't really truly say how much pro stuff he's actually been in, but he also has absolutely no ground game whatsoever. And Minowa has a great knee bar heel hook series that gets to the ground. I'll be interested to see if Minowa Man can actually get to it as quickly as he can, as he has in other opponents.
Ikuhisa Minowa, now Minowa Man, as he is known. Going all that pro wrestling stuff as we look at the tail of the tape.
Actually, probably one of the better shapes I've seen him in. Usually he's coming in a little soft. He's, you know, starting 196, 200 pounds. Comes in obviously made 184 for this fight, and looks to be in better shape. Is it going to translate, you know, into this fight? Obviously, his stand-up is not as good as Kin's is, but his ground game is much better. I wonder who's going to get their style pushed forth sooner.
Minowa!
グラウンドポジション、首から上への足による攻撃に成功し、膝での攻撃はどのポジションでも有効です。握手。ほら。
A contrast of styles for sure. Ken with that K1 background. Again, this is only his 5th MMA pro fight. He definitely wants to stand it up. Minowa, there's no doubt about it. 23 of his 38 wins have come by way of submission, and he shoots in first and now blocks that kick.
Definitely wants to get to the ground as quickly as he can. Wow, I'm surprised that Ken has such a high kick so early in the fight. Usually he's able to warm him up. And his takedown defense has gotten a lot better. Working underhooks, working the sprawl.
He pops up quickly, as he will have to, it would appear, in this fight. If it stays on the ground, he would be in a bad position.
Minowa kind of got Ken to stumble a little bit there, but couldn't take advantage of it. And, you know, Minowa's takedowns are not the best, but they're definitely better than Ken's are. So I wonder how good, how long that defense, Ken's defense to the takedown can work.
One minute into this fight in this middleweight tournament, and once again shooting in Minowa, and once again sprawling out his Ken. He's done a good job keeping this upright at the moment.
Ken can't go to the leg kicks too often. He knows he's got time on him, take him down to the ground. If he keeps it up, he needs to use more of an uppercut hook stance. Try to keep Minowa at bay a little bit. Every time Minowa throws a punch, he's shooting. He's not trying to do anything else other than get that punch in your face, take a shot.
And Minowa rushes in again.
This time he's got it.
Ken bouncing off the ropes, but now he is on the ground, and this is the first time that Minowa actually has a chance to do some groundwork, less than 2 minutes into the fight.
Now let's see what Ken can do from the ground. Good heel placement. He's got that arm wrapped up. Hopefully he can tie it up and get him to stop it, bring the fight back up to the feet. Unless he has some unknown jiu-jitsu talent that I don't know about.
Taiei Ken so far here, Frank?
You know, Taiei on the bottom, he's not real active. He's more of a staller, more of a holder. Minowa was trying to be a little bit more active, but because the way he took him down, he got his arms immediately tied up. He's got to clear that right hand to sit up and try to start punching away. Because really, there's not much action going to be happening in this position. The ref's going to have to stand him up here another 30, 45 seconds.
Minowa trying to get that, and does have his left hand free for the moment. Now try to move in on the side.
See, all that energy Minowa just spent, he ends up right back in the exact same position. But a little bit different. Still closed guard, he's got a buffalo guard on him, but he really just did all that energy and ends up in the same spot. Stand up, center. Yep.
Essentially, Ken was doing a rope-a-dope on the ground.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, he really was. Holding on, looking like he's tired, just sitting there, gonna tie him up, not let anything happen, let's get the break. Bring it back to the center, restart him. I thought they were going to stand him up on their feet. Go back to neutral. Instead, we go back to guard position, but really not much else has changed. Oh, he's sneaking in. Minowa sneaking in for the Achilles lock. Every time Minowa crowds in and starts to overwrap one of the legs around the calf, he's looking for that Achilles lock to sit back. Kind of what we saw Aoki get on Jay-Z in the first match. And Minowa, though, is so strong. The way that his bicep, his lat is built, when he gets it, your foot is stuck. There's no place for it to go. So you have to either defend it cleanly to get out of it, or you just have to tough it out and hopefully Minowa gives up on it. Wow, good job. Ken's doing a good job of defending by kicking away.
Now Ken will come back with his strength, and Minowa gets him back to the ground quickly, though. Not going to waste any time, not going to risk the fact that Ken is one kick away from ending this fight. He has that kind of power.
Smart move by Minowa. Right now, it looks like he's trying to eke out a decision as opposed to looking for that good finish. He tried the 2 attempts for the Achilles lock or the heel hook and missed both because Ken has still got enough energy to kick away. Nice punch, though. Good peppering shots. Minowa tends to be a little bit less active once he takes a guy down. He gets spent so much energy, so much time trying to get you down. He doesn't do anything once he gets you there.
Minowa basically now has spent more energy actually coming to the ring for the introduction and vaulting over the ropes. And Ken once again trying to get free here and trying to stand up, and he does. So Ken, with that good K1 background, only his 5th pro MMA fight, has learned a few things.
He's definitely spends a lot more time on his ground than people give him credit for. Although still not proficient. Oh, wow, look at the back of Minowa's leg.
That shows the power of the kicking that Ken has, and once again, almost the exact same spot.
Remember, Ken's got a great karate and boxing background. He's spent a lot of time in K1 competing, and then he also knows how to kick very well. More like a karate practitioner is going to catch you behind that knee. In that right, as you can see where the red spots are, right above the knee, right behind the hamstring. And as the fight goes on later, Minowa's going to have a hard time using that leg.
Minowa trying to rush in just a bit, but respects the kicking of Ken. Knows he has to time this rush. Ken with a knee.
Wow. I was about to say, Ken's not doing much else but other kicking violently, and he's not setting up with anything. And Ray was about to say that he switches off and throws a knee. Minowa, good job throwing that right hand in there to stuff him off.
Minowa with his first punch that really matters. So he follows up with that combination, especially the good right, and he gets the takedown again.
You can see already how Minowa's leg is starting to welt off. You can see the footprint literally in the back of his leg.
You can count the toes right there almost. Jeez, that's the force of that kick by Ken. You got to think down the road here looking at Ken, you get some more of that all-around game going here because there's no question about his ability when he stands up and with his kicking.
He had good sprawls in the beginning, so he's got good takedown defense. He just stopped doing it. That's why he's been getting taken down. Oh, Minowa was rocking back in for the kill. Ken has got doing a good job of sprawling. He stopped doing it. He's getting too involved in the punching game. He just spent a little bit more time, probably by his 10th match total. Let him figure out we can sprawl and stay away a little bit more. Right now he's having problems because Minowa's just taking him down. He's not real sure what to do once he's here.
Ken pulls free with his right arm. Minowa here in this first round. You know, stand him up.
Yellow
The
card.
yellow card.
In Japan, it means 10% of the fighter's purse is taken away. And giving it to him for stalling. It's a caution for stalling, for no action. You want him to have more action. What he's doing is he's getting taken down. He's just holding on.
Do you agree with that call just then?
Not there, I don't. But
I mean, Ken is doing basically, we know his ground game has a lot to be desired. He's still young in this MMA.
I don't agree with the yellow card as a whole because it takes away 10% of your purse. Oh, nice sprawl.
Look at that. He sprawls out, and maybe that made him angry.
Yeah, Minowa comes back. You know, obviously that's the point of it. Now they know that they're taking 10% away from him.
And look at this. He has tattooed the left leg of Minowa.
He has so much power, so much strength in those kicks. I wonder how much more Minowa can take.
And you wonder about the stalling they called against Ken from the simple fact that Minowa was not able, the ground specialist, to do anything with that to make it more aggressive on the ground.
And he really wasn't working when he was in. Minowa was basically just holding on, sitting up every now and again for the Achilles lock, but he really wasn't doing anything.
I mean, the action in this first round is carried by the younger fighter here, Ken, with a knee.
Sends him back. Hits him only in the chest, but sends him back. Minowa's starting to get a little frustrated here. And once Susie gives up on the sprawl, Minowa did a good job of taking him down. Minowa does actually a double shot. Minowa shot. Ken sprawled a little bit, and Minowa shot again, staying in the same position. And because Ken wasn't expecting it, took him down. It's the inexperience of Ken in only 5 MMA matches. I wonder, though, is Minowa going to start having problems with his left leg? You saw, Ron. It's already swollen.
Ken has left his mark in this fight, literally all over the left leg of Minowa. And Minowa has not done anything that impressive here on the ground, it looks like, at this moment, Frank. You know, you look at the fights that he's lost. I mean, among those he's lost to guys that can hit. He's lost to Krokop. He's lost to Vanderlei Silva. He's lost to Quentin Jackson. Not putting Ken by any means in this category, but he certainly is vulnerable to a good high kick that we have seen early on from Ken here that did not land, but you can see the potential.
He's got the skill for sure. He just doesn't know how to set up an MMA guy yet. Where in K1 or in boxing, you can throw a couple punches, and then once you go to your combo, you can get inside a little bit. And an MMA guy, if you're throwing just one punch or one kick, you're eventually going to time it and take you down. And that's what Minowa was doing. That's his whole game plan at this point.
Even though it was Taiei Ken who supplied the excitement with those leg kicks, especially working on the left side there of Minowa. Keep in mind, though, a yellow card to Ken for stalling in that first round, one that might be a little controversial if they could look at it again from our angle, Frank.
Well, if you look at the first round, you're going to have to say that it was very evenly met. The takedowns obviously go to Minowa, but the striking goes to Ken, but then you put the yellow card in there, all of a sudden that round goes to Minowa. So now all of a sudden you have a tide factor changing with that yellow card. And I really don't think it was really called for at that point. But, you know, the judge, the referee sitting there sees it a little bit better than we do. So with a nice knee without a punch. You know, Ken's got some quick hands and quick feet. He knows how to, after he punches, he knows how to come right back in with a kick. And look at Minowa, he wasn't reaching out to grab his leg, he was trying to block it, which isn't smart. If Ken's corner can see these replays like we can, they'll know that every time he gets kicked in the leg, he drops his hand. I would fake a leg kick and then come up nice and high to his head. You see him lead into the ribs. You really have to give this fight. It's really close. Really close. Except for that yellow card, which now you have to give that round a minute. Also remember, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you're sitting at home and enjoying your energy drinks, the fight is judged as a whole. It's not judged round for round like you see in the other organizations. These fights are judged as a whole. So it's still possible, not that it was a 10-8 round,
right,
but it is possible to come back from that and still win. You can see a guy get completely dominated in the first round and still win, you know, coming back because he dominates the entire last 5 minutes.
This is the start of the Dream Middleweight Tournament. And once again, Minowa rushes in and pushes Ken across the ring, but Ken is able to sprawl out.
Minowa just being relentless with his double leg, just chasing it and chasing it. He'll pick him up here if he's smart.
Slight lift, but he gets him on his back.
Good position with Minowa. Obviously, he's got some collegiate wrestling background. He's improving upon it, even though he does do a lot of pro wrestling in Japan. He is improving upon his collegiate style, and that's really what that takedown was. Is, you know, instead of fighting the angle, fighting the corner, fighting the ropes, fighting the corner, trying to push the guy into the corner. Just, okay, well, I can't go any further backwards. Let me spin and redirect him. And as soon as he spun him, Kin fell down. You see how Minowa's not using his arms. He's not trying to sit up. His head is free. He post up and uses his other hand to push away and try to dig out. He's really not doing that. This is what I call the lay and pray style of the ground and pound. You know, I have three styles: the lay and pray, the ground and pound. Oh, excuse me, the lay and pray, the maul and brawl. And he's just not doing his normal style of maul and brawl. You know, he's just not doing it.
So they resume. Hans, what was going on there?
He said that they gave a warning to both fighters for inactivity there, as opposed to giving a yellow card to Minowa.
So now my question is, you're going to pull the yellow card out. Does that mean there's no yellow card given? Or does that mean that both guys got yellow card, but he didn't show it, so now Kin's lost 20% of his purse, and Minowa's lost 10%, or is Kin only at 10%?
He said it was just a warning.
Okay, so he didn't pull the yellow card out.
Interesting that both would be warned now, but Kin was given a yellow card without any warning in that first round. But at least they have picked up the action here since that time. More strikes thrown over these last 45 seconds than throughout the entire fight by both fighters. And Kin is once again there on the defense.
He's doing a better job of sprawling out. He's putting him in a bad position. I'm very impressed with only his 5 rounds, how well he's doing. Part of it is losing money. It'll make you want to work harder. But the other part of it is he is being pretty tactical about his sprawling, and especially throw a couple more punches.
Taiei Ken under 2 minutes to go in this fight. Remember that yellow card back in the first round. Minowa coming in here as a favorite, certainly much more MMA experience and much better on the ground. But Ken has not embarrassed himself when it's been on the mat.
Action!
With a minute 30 left, you know, I thought the fight was close until that second yellow card came out. With a minute 30 left in the second round, minute 30 left of the fight, really Ken's starting to steal his fight a little bit. He's really starting to get back on it. You know, he does have one more yellow card, or does have at least one yellow card compared to Minowa's only warning. It's really, I got to be honest with you, Ken's starting to turn his tide a little bit, which is what I like to see.
Minowa knows he's been in a fight as he takes that knee.
You didn't hear, there wasn't much sound on that knee at home. You guys heard it on TV, but I'm telling you, that knee landed flush on Minowa's nose.
And another knee by Ken.
Great sprawl. He's doing a good job. Ken's really staying in there.
There you see those markings from the many kicks to the side of that left thigh area back in the first round.
I have to be honest with you, when I saw this fight on paper, coming in the last 30 seconds, I said for sure that Minowa wasn't going to come out there and kill this kid. He's going to take him down, pass his guard, go to a heel hook, go to an ankle lock, and finish this fight off.
Submit this off in the first round.
Kid is very legit. He's a very legit fighter. He's definitely stepping up his game. He's got some mistakes he's got to fix, but he really is pushing his pace.
Taiei Ken, obviously not his debut. This is only his 5th pro fight. This is one of his bigger fights, though. And he has been impressive in this middleweight tournament. But Minowa enough to sway the judges, perhaps, and still going back to that yellow card in the first round.
If I got to call this fight, I could see a split decision going Ken's direction. I really can. I'm very impressed. I did not think this fight was going to be as a game of fight as it was going to be on paper. It really shows again how good the matchmaking is. And some people, you know, just because I think a fight's going to be horrible and now why even bother watching it because it's really not going to pass through. This fight was really well done. Minowa one of his only punches that really landed, and every time he punched, he's going for a takedown, but Ken obviously used to getting hit in the head, learned how to sprawl. In that position, he had to get taken down. But this time, Minowa comes to shoot, he finally figures it out. You get a guy that shoots on you a lot, use an uppercut or a knee to stop him from shooting. This knee just barely missing Minowa's head. If this had caught him flush in the forehead, it probably would have cut him open from that angle. You know, really, this is very questionable. It's a very close fight, in my opinion. I really do think that that Ken did enough to win. They can also see how they see Minowa winning, winning with all the takedowns, winning with the full-fledged yellow card in the beginning. I mean, I do see this can be a tough spot for the judges.
Here's what they say.
判定の結果をお伝えします。ジャッジ佐藤、金。ジャッジ小林、金。ジャッジともに金。よって勝者。
Unanimous decision for Ken. I'm surprised.
A surprising unanimous decision, only again going back to the yellow card in the first round for stalling. But it is Taiei Ken coming in just his 5th professional MMA fight. Granted, he had that kickboxing, karate experience, but Minowa, a much stronger fighter on the ground. 10 times the number of pro MMA fights coming into this.
And excellent where Ken is supposed to be weak on the ground. This is where Minowa is supposed to be excellent in comparison. He's obviously not excellent like an Aoki type, but definitely an excellent in comparison to Ken. I see he's asking for the microphone, so we're going to see a speech here in a second for sure. All right, back to work.
Well, Ken must be a happy guy right now. Let's listen in.
皆様、K の国から来ました金大です。よろしくお願いします。総合5戦目で、今日を迎えまして、ドリームのファンの皆様に温かく迎えていただきまして、本当にありがとうございました。これからも、一生懸命頑張りたいと思います。このチームでみんなで頑張りたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。はい、気をつけ。はい、さようなら。
Once again, we go to our translator, Hans Thompson. Hans?
He said, thank you to everyone. He mentioned that he came from K1. He thanked everyone again. And then he said from this point on, he hopes to continue to do his best and to continue training with the same team, and they'll all do their best together.
Well, they certainly worked out well. More coming up on Dream 2.
Welcome back to HDNet Fights presents Dream 2.
And along with New Year and the Summer of Obon Festival, this is one of the 3 biggest weeks in Japan. This is Showa Day, part of Golden Week, and you're watching Dream 2. We're into the middleweight tournament. As we get ready now for Oyama and Yoon.
本日の第3試合、オリンピアドリーム2ミドル級グランプリ2008開幕戦第2試合を行います。
And now for the third match.
青コーナーより大山俊吾選手の入場です。
Shungo Oyama has won 4 of his last 6 fights. Has an impressive resume. Wins over Renzo Gracie, Carlos Newton, among others. His losses have come to Crow Cop, Vanderlei Silva, Dan Henderson, among others. Basically, if you look at his lineup and this record of his, a little deceiving with that losing record. He's fought tough fights. When he's won, he's fought tough fights.
Yeah, everybody he's fought is like almost a who's who of MMA. Is he's making his way through the ranks and trying to test himself to see if he really had what it took to be a fighter, and he just couldn't get out of it. Every time he turned around, there was another Henderson or another Vanderlei Silva, another Crow Cop. And at some point, there was a while there for I was wishing this guy would get a break, and they give him a tomato can, somebody he could just beat up just so he could be happy. This guy, but he seems to get a little bit better every time. He weathers the storm, and even his losses, he doesn't really take big damage. You fight at Crow Cop, you're losing your teeth in an eye socket. He didn't seem to have that happen to him against Crow Cop. He blocked, and he did get TKO'd, but it wasn't a devastating TKO you can figure on most guys. And he really is a lot better than his record is giving him credit for.
And Oyama, 4 wins by way of submission, 2 decisions. He does have 1 knockout among his 7 victories.
赤コーナーよりユン・ドンシク選手の入場です。
Dong-Sik Yoon now making his way toward the ring. Again, another kind of deceptive record of 3-4, always wins by way of submission. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Look at everybody he's lost to. Sakuraba, Quentin Jackson, Bustamante, among those.
Yeah, those guys kind of suck. Really, you look at those guys like, I could beat them up anytime I wanted to. Rampage Jackson, he's not that tough a guy. Not really at all. He doesn't, just basically dominate everybody he touches. No, that's not it at all. And you gotta understand, when he fought Rampage, he took him as far as you could take anybody at that point. Took him to a distance.
Basically, this will be one of the best fights you see among 2 guys with losing records.
Yeah, they are definitely underrated. Everyone talks about in message boards. Who's the most underrated fighter? Who's the most underrated fighter? You look at these guys' records, you go, oh, they just both suck. These guys are really good, legit competitors that made crossover from other sports, judo and sambo, into MMA, and have losing records right now, but their losses were incredible losses. I mean, literally, Yoon almost beat Rampage Jackson in a decision.
青コーナー178センチ 83.9 キロ 大山俊吾 赤コーナー183センチ 83.6 キロ ユン・ドンシェイセンターページ
Yoon has won 3 straight after losing his first 4 fights. Competition has been a little easier since those first 4 fights, of course.
Well, they threw him right to the wolves.
Talk about throwing him in the deep end. It's sink or swim. He treaded enough water to maintain an MMA career after Sakuraba, Jackson, and Bustamante. Hey, if you got nothing else to do, fight these guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think when he fought Bustamante, it was that was another close decision. Sakuraba was a close decision. Now granted, he didn't catch Sakuraba on his best day. I think on Sakuraba's best day, he probably would have caught him with a submission in the middle of it, but Yoon brings in that new South Korean fighter that in America we really haven't heard that many of. Other than Dennis Kang, we really don't know that many Korean fighters. And Yoon is one of those guys that he's the beginning, and the rest of his team is coming in behind him. They're all just as good, if not better, than he is.
Dennis Kang will be in action later. This is Yoon right now in the black trunks. All of his wins by way of submission. Oyama so far has proven to be the more versatile fighter. A mixture of decisions and submissions, although he would be comfortable on the ground as well.
Both these guys have a nullifying style. Both are judo practitioners. Both have a little bit of sambo background. Obviously, Oyama has a better sambo background, but Yoon is the 2001 Judo World Champion, bronze medalist in the World Championships. He obviously is better at judo, which, because both these guys are good throwers and submitters, it's going to be a little bit more tactical fight than what we've seen each one of these guys go against other opponents.
Southpaw Oyama flashes a jab, going in for the single leg is Yoon, and it goes to the mat.
Not a bad single. Stepped at the right time, head a little low, back a little bend, but of course in judo there's not many single leg takedowns. So he's obviously now working on his takedown game. Of course, Yoon is out of the Takada dojo in Team Yoon, meaning he still lives in South Korea, but he works out of Takada's dojo. And Takada, one of the greatest fighters in Japan, has a lot of college and Olympic wrestlers that come through his camp. They're obviously working with Yoon on his takedown game.
Yoon trying to get the measure and drop in some punches here.
So far
and Oyama will try to wrap him up quickly, can't do it.
As I said, so far tonight, I've only seen Oyama do much motion on the bottom. Usually he's a lot more active. Now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit.
I almost get the feeling Oyama's trying to draw him in as he is here.
Oh, nice arm lock right now. He can switch it into a shoulder lock if he can rotate his left foot all the way over and rotate his hips. He can get to an arm bar, a reverse side arm bar. Also, too, if Yoon sticks his head up too high, he can slide himself into a triangle.
Yoon trying to get free and pulls that left arm out of there. Oyama trying to hang on to it once again.
Now, although we got the announcement of the matchups late, the announcement of the matchups came in a little bit later. These guys are both in good shape. Yoon in better shape than I've seen him. Oyama, looks to be a little bit smaller. He used to carry a little chunk around the middle of his body. Seems to be in a little better shape. Yoon is a lot smaller than he used to be as well. Obviously when he fought Rampage, he was at 205, and Bustamante was up a little bit higher as well. He's finally getting his body weight under control, and he seems to have a lot more action because of it. He's usually more of a lay and prayer, not so much of a ground and pounder. Now he's actually sitting up and trying to ground and pound in his position.
Much more active since dropping that weight. He's been on a good streak as well with that, as opposed to when he was trying to fight in the light heavies.
Exactly. A lot of guys tend to do worse as they drop weight down. They don't do well because of the diet and the discipline. Yoon seems to be doing better because of it. And I haven't seen enough yet of Oyama on his feet to see if on top, to see if he's if his shape is improved with his weight loss. Oyama's very technical on the bottom. Very technical.
Yoon looking at the referee as if, do you want to stand up here? You want us to stand up? We'll be glad. I'll be glad to do it at least at the moment.
Believe it or not, Yoon's in he's in two different submission positions right here that he didn't take advantage of when he was on that side mount. The way the arms were crossed over, he had two different submissions, and he didn't really go after either one of them. Kenny, it really changes your game going from a gi to no gi in your submission game. There's a whole bunch of submissions that I now know from with the gi on that I can't hit in an MMA match because there's nothing there for me to grab onto that I'm just now starting to figure out. But guys like Yoon and Oyama, who've been doing judo and sambo for so long, their submission games completely changed from going into MMA because all they did was gi work.
中持ってください。Don't move. Don't move. 中。マウント。マウントで中。
Through the ropes. Will they move him back toward the center or just reposition him there? They'll go back out toward the center of the ring.
The ref said, "Don't stop, stop, don't move." And Yoon took that literally. He stopped and didn't move, and the ref was trying to move him. He's like, "I'm not moving. You told me not to move."
Yoon in the black trunks, trying to win his 4th in a row to advance in this middleweight tournament, starting tonight here in Dream 2.
So far, he's doing pretty good, dominating position. So far, he's doing okay. A lot more active on top. Oyama's in the bottom, and obviously controlling the top. Keeping Oyama on the bottom, and obviously now in full mount, can't. Oyama's in a bit of a position now. He's got to make up his mind. They're halfway through or over halfway through the first round. He's just starting to pick it up if Oyama wants to try to win this round.
Oyama trying to shake free for the moment. Yoon will have none of it.
To finish.
Oyama worked hard to try to get a new position, but wasn't able to there.
It's tough. You're trying to get those new spots, trying to get these new places, to try to get the advantage turn in your favor, and then all of a sudden you end up back in the exact same spot. It not only does it suck out a little bit of your energy, it sucks out part of your mental game as well. Talking about earlier with Aoki working on his mental game, and other fighters known to work on their mental game. That's a tough spot. And the mount is probably one of the most damaging places because it's like a big brother sitting on the top of you, drilling spit on your forehead. At some point, it's going to drop out of his mouth. What are you going to do?
You say that as if you speak from experience, big brother.
Yeah. No, actually, I was a little brother in that situation.
And now, Oyama has reversed it.
Yoon stepped in there trying to go to a topside armbar, and he missed it. And one of the things that John Lewis, my jiu-jitsu instructor, always tries to explain to us, and BJ Penn told me as well, don't give up a great position for a maybe on a submission. Get the submission on top, have it completely locked in, and then make your adjustment.
So Yoon gambled. Will Oyama make him pay for it? Yoon closing up here on Oyama. Oyama will try this approach. Got to watch for those kind of bicycle up kicks almost.
Wait, what's Six doing? Excuse me. Yeah, what Yoon's doing is he's dropping his heel down on the thigh. It's like giving him a Charlie horse, which is going to slow him down later and keep him from stepping in too heavy. Good stoppage on the ref. Bring it back up.
Southpaw Oyama. Again, he has one win by way of knockout of his 7 victories. I really wouldn't expect him to have a real slugfest here.
No, not at all. Both guys use their arms a lot, but not going to stand there and punch at each other too much. It's just not their style. Good head movement on Oyama. See, Yoon is starting to duck his head as he punches. Oyama gets wise to it. He can sidestep and throw an uppercut right between his hands.
These guys probably haven't stood up this long, except in the gym when they're working on their boxing.
I know, really. This is kind of weird for me to see both these guys standing up here, but it's because I think they're respecting each other's angles. As you notice, neither one's stepping in to grab the other one. They're both just throwing.
Going for the single leg again is Yoon.
Worked the first time, worked the second time. Oh, he's in a triangle position. Okay, get out of it. Worked both times for him. He's only shot twice, and both times he's gotten the takedown.
"30 seconds now to go in this first round."
Is that a headbutt?
It looked like the attempt at one. Looked like it was more of a chin hitting the side than. Look at Dong-Sik Yoon.
He's in a good, he's in a good Kimura position right now. It's just his hands are locked. You see Yoon's hands are locked around. It's very difficult to get. Oh, good sweep here.
Sweeps out with 6 seconds to go. Lands 2 of his better punches in this first round as well.
These 2 kicks on the way up. Wow. That second kick was it was flush. It was hard on the head. I'm surprised he didn't rattle him a little more.
Yoon got the punches in. Oyama got the kicks in the final 7 seconds of the first round.
Now, Kenny, both guys look like they're in better shape, but Oyama doesn't seem to have the cardiovascular system that Yoon does. Now, both guys are in better shape. They look to be in better shape. They're more physically fit, but obviously Yoon ran to get his weight off, where maybe Oyama didn't do as much cardio to get himself down to this weight. Because right now, Yoon seems to be in a little bit better position coming into the second round.
As you look at Dong-Sik Yoon, and we get ready now to take a look at some of the highlights there, Frank, in that first round.
A back fist punch. It's kind of hard to punch over and around. But you also see, if you notice those punches, you see how Yoon's hands were open. You see his fingertips. There's almost like a slap, like he was almost back slapping him. You have to be really careful doing that because that's the easiest way to break your hand. Punching somebody with an open fist or not a tight fist. As you see, really Oyama rolling into this position where he had like 3 or 4 different arm attempts or different arm submissions in this spot. He just didn't rotate over far enough, and this is where Yoon loses his great position. He was actually rolling for an arm bar, went to go backside down, and gets swept in the process instead. Yoon's a lot more active, a lot more technical orientated when he moves, but right now obviously Yoon is dominating this fight. He's in control. He's been on top a lot more. He's gotten both the takedowns. But don't count on Oyama. He's still close enough where he can pull something off very quickly.
You look at Yoon, there's Oyama. We get ready for the second 5 minutes. And a good right hand. A stunning right hand by Yoon.
Wow. Wow, he slipped that in. You saw him, he gritted his teeth and closed his eyes and threw as hard as he could.
Perhaps one of the best punches he's ever thrown in competition.
Jeez, that was flush on the chin. Perfect timing, knocked him back. I don't know if it knocked him down and he just continued to roll, or if it knocked him back and he just had to roll because he was off balance. Talking about Oyama.
We talked about in the first round, these guys standing on their feet more than they're used to. Actually sparring a bit more than we expected him to. And now, Yoon pulls out one of the better punches we've seen in this tournament.
Great work.